News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks. U.S. inflation continued to accelerate in April, led by a jump in gas and grocery prices, which exceeded wage growth. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports the Consumer Price Index rose 3.8% from a year earlier, up about 0.2% from last month, marking the fastest pace since 2023. And core CPI, which excludes food and energy, increased 0.4% from a month earlier. Bloomberg's Mike McKee has more on what caused this boost.
If you want to look at what actually pushed it higher, I bet you won't be surprised to know that gasoline prices were up 5.4%. Electricity, though, also up 2.1%, a big rise there, so it may not help you to buy that electronic vehicle. Owner's equivalent rent was up 0.5%. That's a bit of a statistical quirk because of the government shutdown last October. There were no data, so it takes 6 months to turn the housing market data around, and that is what resulted.
Bloomberg's Mike McKee reporting. Economists anticipate higher costs will stick around in the months ahead as this war in Iran continues, pushing prices even higher and making other goods and services more expensive. JPMorgan Chase Chairman and CEO Jamie Dimon weighed in on the market while speaking exclusively to Bloomberg's Francine Lacroix at its global market conference today in Paris.
I think there's a little bit too much exuberance out there. It's not just the Middle East. It's, it's Ukraine, Russia still there, America, China. There are a lot of these complex issues which may or may not affect the market, but then there are issues like inflation. Today's print wasn't so good. So, I think the market's kind of exuberant and it may not be completely justified.
JPMorgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon on Bloomberg TV. He says AI will be a plus, but corporate profits are doing very well. He did stop short, though, of predicting whether the next earnings season will be as good as this one due to impacts from the war and inflation. We check the markets for you all day long here at Bloomberg, and right now the Dow is down about 0.6%, the Nasdaq down 1.5%, and the S&P is down about 0.8%. The 10-year Treasury yield's at 4.4%, the 2-year yield's at 3.9%. Oil's also higher, with Brent crude up close to 4%, trading at $108 a barrel. President Trump is showing signs of frustration at a lack of progress in negotiations to end the war in Iran as the Strait of Hormuz remains all but closed. Trump calling Iran's latest response to his latest peace proposal a piece of garbage and says a ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran is on massive life support. Those comments come as Trump gets set to meet with his Chinese counterpart, President Xi Jinping, in Beijing on Thursday. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's in the hot seat on Capitol Hill today, facing tough questions from Republicans and Democrats in Congress about the Trump administration's endgame for this war and the conflict's costs. California Democrat Pete Aguilar also asked about reports of depleted munition stockpiles, which Hegseth denied.
I take issue with the characterization that munitions are depleted in a public forum. That's not true. And ultimately, we have all the munitions needed to execute what we need to execute, and we're going to ensure that we supercharge that going into the future.
I think you've heard differences from both sides of the aisle on that point.
Lawmakers have expressed concerns over the lack of congressional approval of this conflict. Across the pond, embattled UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer says he won't go down without a leadership fight as efforts ramp up to replace him. Bloomberg's Lizzie Burden has more from London.
This is a Prime Minister who isn't known for his ability to read the room. Just over the weekend, he was insisting that he intends to stay for the next 10 years. The reality is now at least 80 of his 403 Labour MPs have called for his departure. We've already seen the resignation of a junior minister, Miata Van Boele, over his leadership, and therefore it is an ugly picture, as you've all been painting, for UK markets.
Bloomberg's Lizzie Burden reporting in London. Tomorrow, King Charles will deliver the King's speech in the House of Lords, which is set to outline the Labour Party's plans for its next parliamentary session. eBay has rejected GameStop's $56 billion takeover bid, describing it as neither credible nor attractive. Its board citing uncertainty around GameStop's financing plan, operational risks, and its governance, among other factors. The rejection now sets the stage for a potential proxy fight to replace eBay's board with one favorable to a deal. Under Armour stock is taking a beating today, with shares falling 18% after posting a slight decline in revenue and a weak sales forecast. That guidance shows that Under Armour's turnaround is still a work in progress as it continues navigating impacts of tariffs and its split from Steph Curry. Shares of Hims & Hers also down 13% today. The company reporting a first quarter loss after facing higher costs from pivoting to branded weight loss medications, including those from Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk. We get more on that from Bloomberg's Jerry Smith.
There is a scenario where this is, short-term pain for Hims. for a longer term gain. We've seen recently the approval of weight loss pills, which a lot of analysts think is the next frontier for weight loss drugs and is going to be a huge market. So Hims being a part of that as a telehealth company selling these, it could be a large area of growth going forward for them.
That's Bloomberg's Jerry Smith on Bloomberg Open Interest. The results come as the company moves away from copycat versions of weight loss drugs, which drew a lot of scrutiny from pharmaceutical companies and U.S. regulators. And a new feature is coming to Spotify. The music streaming giant celebrating its 20th anniversary by launching a fan experience, looking back on listening habits throughout the years, kind of like a personal music time capsule. It's called Spotify 20, your party of the year, and it allows users to unlock a variety of features that highlight their experiences since joining. And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Monica Ricks, and this is Bloomberg.